Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome or welcome back to Divine Beacon with April. I am going to continue the purging series of videos. Today is going to be on mental purging. I've decided to split up mental and emotional into two separate videos because there's just too much information. So next week will be on emotional purging. So I just wanted to start by saying, why are we doing all this purging, to kind of give it some context for you. You know, we've talked about material purging. We've talked about nurturing ourselves, and then we also talked about electronic purging. So today we're going to talk about mental purging, and then next week again will be emotional. But the reason we're going through all this is kind of a prep to the real, part of spirituality that we're going to embark on. So it's kind of like, I just want you to think of it as you're prepping the outside of a house before you actually paint it. So you need to cover the windows and take off any, lamps or lights, or cover the plants, etc. We're doing all this purging to prep for what you're going to experience after that. So that's why we're doing it all. And an upcoming video I'm going to do on kind of the roadmap of spirituality, so you can understand where we're headed. It's kind of hard to understand where we're going with all this when you don't really know. So I've decided to create another video, and I'm not sure when I'm going to post it, but it'll be soon, on all the different steps and what to expect when you're going through this. So that might help. So mental purging. I want to talk about all this mind clutter that we all have, that's either coming at us or self-perpetuated. We have all kinds of things that are going on in our mind at all times. Self-talk, things that we need to do. I always have the things to do list on my mind, work, partner, family, kids. We have politics, either at work or, in the US, especially right now. Holiday coming up, there's all kinds of stuff on our minds that kind of fills it up when we're not busy doing something else. And then not to mention, we've talked about this in the electronic video, but news, TV, social media, and then gossiping. I want to add gossiping to that, because gossiping is a big thing that a lot of people do, and they don't realize, in their own internal circles and family, they're contributing to that. So have you ever done anything where your mind isn't there? You're in a meeting or talking to somebody, and they actually ask you to participate, and you think, oh God, I don't know what they just said. And you have to ask them to say it again. So we've all had those distractions. A lot of what we do with all this mind clutter is really to distract us, sometimes consciously on purpose, sometimes unconsciously on purpose. I know I listened to a comedian, and he says, what do you want me to do with all this? I can't feel my feelings. Are you crazy? So things will come up when you start to get rid of all this mental chatter. I'm not gonna kid you, but it's all to help you. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it really is to help bring things up and clear them if you need to, and they'll come up naturally. So it becomes an addiction. We have a lot of things that are coming at us all the time in all the different ways that people can reach out to us, and it becomes addictive. So what drives that? Why are we doing that all the time? It's really due to society. You don't want to be in the know. You don't want to be boring. You don't want to miss anything that somebody's talking about and look like you're not, educated in the room. Whatever, reasons you have. Some people, it's richer, thinner, more attractive. You want to be smarter than everybody else. You want to be cool and in the know, what the Kardashians are doing, whatever. So that's what drives us. But I listened to, he's a living mystic yogi. His name is Sadhguru. I'll put it in the description. Sadhguru. He is very much into life. He loves to motorcycle ride and hot air balloon and you name it. So he's not just a yogi sitting on a mountain. He's actually living life of today, but bringing the wisdom that he brings to it. So I'd like to share that with you. If you guys are interested, go check it out. He has a lot of YouTubes out there. But what he explains, you know, that break in that mind chatter, or the monkey mind, as a lot of spiritual people like to call it, it's like playing tennis all the time. So if you play tennis 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that would wear you out. And basically that's what we're doing to our minds. We're not giving it a break. And that's kind of the non-spiritual way of me to say you really need to be in meditation on a regular basis to give your mind a break, if anything else. So when I had my corporate job, I used to fly all over the country. And when I did, that was the only quiet time I had to myself. Literally, it was the only time I could quiet my mind. And I didn't even realize this at the time, but that's when everything would come up and come out, and I'd start making lists and people I need to see and things I need to do, because I was quieting myself in that plane. So you're just going to try to do it on a regular basis and bring that to yourself. And it really does bear gifts for you. It gives you time to think about what's coming up that will bring you clarity. It'll bring you peace. It really does bring me joy. I can't do without it now, but I just want to talk about meditation as a kind of like a muscle in your body. You need to practice it on a regular basis in order for it to start to kick in. You know, if you start working out, you're working on your arms or your legs or whatever muscle you're focusing on. It's not going to happen overnight, right? So you've got to keep doing it in order for the results to show. Okay, so I'm challenging everybody as my number 1 out of 3 steps to do is to just start to try to meditate. And again, if you need to do that with an app, or I'm going to give you a tip here, some things that people do, there's different things people do, but one that I think beginners find really helpful is to count. So you count your breaths. You know, you take a big inhale and a exhale, not forcing anything, and you count those up to 20, and then you count them back down from 20 to 0. That'll give you a clear meditation, whether you're, you know, whatever you're doing, and keep your mind busy so that things don't pop in. Okay, and things still might pop in, but just like anything, you're going to have to get used to it. I have a friend who can barely sit still. I mean, her leg is shaking all the time. You know, she's bouncing her foot. Her mind is all over the place. We tried to do meditation and she was trying to talk to me the whole time. So, you know, it's really, really hard. But again, just like in all the other videos, be kind to yourself. You know, it's taken us a lot to get here. We really have been programmed and trained that we need to be up to speed on everything and be everything to everyone. And we're not used to quieting ourselves. It's just not natural, especially, you know, in the United States. So definitely be kind to yourself in getting used to it. I swear to you, it will become second nature after a while. If you can do it in nature, by the way, even better. If you can get outside, you know, I'm near a beach. If you can get near a park or even your own backyard or somewhere, if you live in an apartment, somewhere where there's trees, that would be best. But if you can't, like I said, you could do it in your car even before you walk into work. Okay, so the number 2 I wanted to give you is just try less TV, phone, news, etc. for a month. And even if you are doing it half as much and you're scheduling your time on those, you know, the different ways that you can inform yourself, try it. Try it along with doing this meditation, even if it's 5 minutes a day, and see how you feel at the end. You know, nothing's absolute. You might need more, you might need less in either one of those areas. But number 1 is to meditate. Number 2 is to help with that mind clutter by not exposing yourself to all of the stuff that's going on. And you just got to get comfortable with, and if something comes up and you don't know about it because you haven't been watching, it's okay. Just say, I've been consciously not watching, but tell me about what you're talking about. It sounds interesting, or however you want to handle it. But that's another tip. So number 3 is ask yourself, in everything that you're doing right now, and this is just the beginning of what we're going to be covering, just ask yourself, why am I doing this? You know, what is the reason I'm doing the things that I do? Not just, you know, with the mind clutter, but in every aspect of life. Why am I doing this? And it doesn't mean that every answer has to be because it benefits you in some way. It's really just to start thinking consciously about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And when I started doing this, I had an epiphany coming home from work one day because I was exhausted, and I thought, oh my God, I have an event to go to, and I have one the next day, and then one the day after that, most of it family and friends. And I just thought, I don't know if I can make it. I'm so exhausted already. And then I thought, why am I doing this to myself? You know, why aren't I stepping back and saying, I can't today. It's too much. I'm spent. And when I started doing that and letting things, you know, just be in the flow, that worked for me. That's when it changed my whole reality, really. So these are just the tips from me to you. Try it. I would love to hear if you have any luck with it. Definitely let me know in the comments. I mean, the most important commodity we have is time, and you have to be conscious of how you're using your time and use it well with the time we have left, right? So hope that helps. Ciao for now. Talk to you soon. Thanks.